So the Pokemon and Palworld situation is getting out of hand, and I had to say something about it. So for those of you that don't know, Pokemon is suing this game called Palworld that just came out this year, I think in January, for multiple things, but it really kind of boils down to three patents that Nintendo has filed a couple years ago, but they updated them recently to specifically target Palworld. My understanding is they're going after them for riding mechanics of the creatures, the creature designs themselves, and specifically the capturing mechanics, the way you throw a Pokeball or a Pal Sphere, or whatever it's called, to capture the creatures that are inside the game. And, on the surface, this looks like, okay, Nintendo's just doing what is in their legal bounds, protecting their intellectual properties, protecting their trademark and their patents, and that's all well and good. And I firmly believe that companies should be able to patent their products and the things that they have created that other people should not be able to infringe on. However, what Nintendo is doing here, you guys, is it's very soy, to say the least. It's very murky, business-wise, to say the least. It's anti-consumer. It goes against healthy competition, in my opinion. I've been doing a lot of research on this and talking to, different AIs about the patent process and the laws and all this stuff that goes into it. When you zoom out and you look at the things that Nintendo is going after Palworld for, there's only one that really holds any water, in my opinion, in everything that I've done and all the research I've looked at. And that's the creature designs, okay? Like plain and simple, when you put a Pokemon next to a PAL creature, you can see the incredible similarities there, right? But that isn't anything that they can't, change. Palworld can just change the designs of the creatures a little bit, make them skinnier, make them fatter, add horns here, take horns away there, change a name here or a name there, change a color scheme. There's many, many ways that they can get around that. So I don't think that's going to, as long as they change the designs a little bit, I don't think Nintendo will have any legal grounds for the creature design. Then with the riding mechanics, that's just like even more vague. How many games out there, guys, that you own right now have riding mechanics of some type of creature, whether it's a dragon or a horse or some type of mount of any kind in any game? Lots of games have these features involved. So you can't just patent that, you know what I mean? You can't just go after another company because they have a similar mechanic to yours. You have to prove that yours is unique and wholly unique and that no one else has done it before you in order for it to have any legal ground. So that I don't think is going to work. And then the third one is the capturing mechanic. And the capturing mechanic is interesting because, once again, when you zoom out psychologically and you look at what are you doing when you're capturing a creature, well, the definition that I've never really heard anybody talk about, the actual term that I've heard no one talk about yet, I'm sure some people have, is hunting. You are actually hunting, whether you're going in Pokemon or you're going in Palworld or you're playing Red Dead Redemption, Zelda, and you're killing a creature for its meat and sustenance, or you're riding on top of something. You are hunting that thing. You are trying to trap it in some way, weaken it in some way, and then make it yours, make it belong to you. And we've been doing this as a human species for thousands and thousands of years, right? Hunting is not anything that you can patent, that you can hold legal authority on, And it seems like that's what Nintendo's trying to do here. Now, with the Pokeball, okay, now you have a unique thing that you can, trademark, you can patent, you can copyright the Pokeball itself, and the way how you have to throw it, and the way it opens, captures the Pokemon, the way it shakes, right? And the sound that it makes. Okay, that's a unique thing. So once again, I think there's a very simple way out of this for Palworld, where they're not going to have to change too much. They can make it a cube, make the Pal Sphere become a Pal Cube, or a triangle. You can make it any other shape that you want, or just a different object altogether, like a spear, you know what I mean? Or some type of bow or some type of arrow, or even a box. You know, and the way that you capture the pals can be totally different too. You can have it, the one thing that I've thought about is like, imagine you throw the cube and the cube rolls like a dice towards the thing, the creature. It hits the creature, it opens up, the cube opens up, and then like a silly putty, like Majin Buu, for those of you that watch Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. You know, imagine like a silly putty type thing comes out of the cube and encapsulates the creature itself and just kind of morphs into it and then sucks it in back into the cube. And that's just one example that I came up with in like 30 seconds. There are many different ways, an infinite number of ways that you can hunt the creatures and capture them and not have it, you know, infringe on Nintendo's patents. So yeah, I don't think that Nintendo, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that Nintendo is going to have any legal grounds here as long as Palworld chooses to change very minutely, very subtly their world design, game design, creature design going forward. I don't see how this is going to end well for Nintendo. And in fact, you know, like I've mentioned before, I look at everything through a psychological lens. That's what my degree is in. That's what my background is in and my research for over 10 years of my life. So I think that Nintendo is scared. I think that they're afraid. They're scared of Palworld. They're scared of healthy competition because I don't think they're just trying to protect their IP, okay? You got to understand, just like what I said with the AI video, they're trying to get more money for less work. I think they just want to have a monopoly on Pokemon and creatures in general and that whole idea of capturing and battling with creatures. And they want to have a monopoly on this. So if they win this court case, this is going to set a precedent going forward that Nintendo is not to be trifled with in any way, and even trying to do things legally in your legal bounds to challenge them to be a healthy competitor that competition desperately needs. You need competition. I think it's going to really harm the industry overall and harm us, the consumers, because they will then have a monopoly on the whole creature capturing aspect of gaming, and then they can do whatever they want. They can keep releasing subpar, crappy, trash, soy products to us year after year after year. And guess what? They'll say, you don't like our product, go buy from the other guy. Oh, just kidding. There is no other guy. This is kind of like what EA did with the Madden franchise with the football games. Have you noticed the past 10, 15 years, there's been no football games except Madden? And you ask yourself why that is. It's because EA bought the license from the NFL. They bought the license so that they legally are the only ones that are allowed to make football games. I think the license just expired like this year, 2024. So hopefully now we're going to start getting some competitors out there to Madden's football. But I think that's what Nintendo's trying to do here, you guys. It's nothing good. It's nothing good for you or for me or for the consumer or for the product or for the art of Pokemon themselves. They're trying to make it so they can do the least amount of work, recycle content as much as possible, innovate as little as possible going forward into the future, and then make as much money as possible from the consumers who love their product, who have nowhere else to buy a similar product. It's very evil, you know, it's not good. They don't respect healthy competition, and that's what I think. I could be completely wrong, and I'd be happy to be wrong. And they just want to make sure that, you know, they change the sphere into a cube or something different, make it a little more distinct than Pokemon, or some of the creature designs, make them a little more varied and different than the Pikachu designs and stuff like that. That I completely understand and I agree with. You shouldn't have a mouse that looks identical to Pikachu, you know what I mean? But Nintendo doesn't own mice. They don't own the mouse animal, right? So they can't just patent that, but they can patent Pikachu's design with the stripes and the yellow and the tail and stuff like that. But if you want to make a game and you want it to have creatures and you want to have a mouse in your game, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that's healthy competition, and you want to innovate in unique and novel ways. I completely support it because that's healthy. Competition breeds excellence. You want to have competition that's going to make your product better, and then hopefully the idea is Nintendo is now going to step up their game with the Pokemon games that are coming forward. They're going to step up their innovation, their graphics, their gameplay, their artistic designs, the amount of Pokemon that are in the game. Hopefully that's the idea, is that Pokemon will see what Palworld is doing and then innovate and push the medium forward. Then Palworld will see what Nintendo is doing and then try to do better than them. And it's this constant, never-ending struggle of competition. And who benefits from this? The art itself, right? The medium of art itself will raise the bar. But you and I, the consumers, we will also benefit because we're going to get better products for the same price going forward. That's the idea, right? We're going to get better, more awesome experiences that we can share with each other. But I don't think that's what Nintendo's trying to do. I think they're trying to snuff out the competition, destroy them before they get too big, and infringe on their brand and on their profits. And you mark my words, guys, this new Pokemon Z, the Pokemon ZA game coming out, I think there's a reason we haven't seen anything about it. We haven't seen a single bit of gameplay. I think that's because Nintendo is afraid to show it. They're scared because they know it's not going to look as good or play as well as Palworld, and they're scared of the reception. And I do think that Palworld, unless Nintendo really steps it up with this game, which I hope I'm wrong, I hope they really step it up and make this Pokemon Z game everything that we've all hoped and dreamed for Pokemon to actually be. With amazing animations, the entire National Dex, the entire Pokedex, all the Pokemon in there, new animations, better graphics, better frame rate, better everything, right? Just improve Pokemon as a whole. If they don't do that, I don't know how well this is going to go over. I think it's going to damage the brand. Pokemon's the most profitable franchise in the world by far. So they're not going to go to zero or anything like that. But it is going to damage them, and it's going to give Palworld more fuel to their fire to make Palworld 2 and to expand their brand and to eventually become a competitor that can sit toe-to-toe, shoulder-to-shoulder with Pokemon. And that's what Pokemon needs. They need healthy competition. And I hope we end up seeing more Palworld competitors show up too, branch out from this, because Nintendo needs competition desperately. They've had a monopoly with Pokemon for the past, 25 years, and it needs to stop. Because the series has stagnated big time. So, yeah, that's the long and short of it, you guys. I am the Lion of Truth. Let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? I hope that I am wrong. I hope that Nintendo is just doing this to protect their IP, and they want healthy competition from Palworld, and Palworld will change their designs and change their things a little bit, just so they can be in legal grounds, and then we can have a healthy, fair fight, fair competition between the two companies, and then more companies will show up, and the medium will just get better and better and better as time goes on, and we, the consumers, will be the ones that benefit. We, the players, will benefit overall. Because I love Pokemon. I love it. I loved it since I was a kid, and I want to see it succeed, and I want to see it keep growing, innovating, and getting better. But it has been stagnant. You know it. I know it. They know it. Everyone knows it for at least the past 10 years. It's been almost completely stagnant since Mega Evolutions. And I think it's also funny that they added Mega Evolutions back into Z, the thing we've been asking for since Oris. So I think it's very interesting. Now they're kind of giving the fans what they want when their back is against the wall and they're scared of the competition that's coming.